Hi, I'm Sonja Moons. I'm 13 years old. I take Spanish at Living Water Spanish in Oregon. I won the World Championships for 2015. So, starting with the first day, I woke up at 3 o'clock. Because where I am, the competition starts at 12 o'clock a.m. So, I started waking up early so I wouldn't lose too much ground on all the people who were trying to get it too. Every day you have 8 hours allotted that you're actually typing in the tests. So I use the full 8 hours every day except for the last day where I didn't use the last hour.
Was that because you felt like you were gonna, you've got it, that was it, and you took a break? Or was that because you just, was that because you ran out of steam?
Well, partly because I ran out of steam and partly because I wanted an even number.
Great.
Yeah. What was your even number?
Yeah, what was your even number?
I got 68,000 points. I was communicating with another student via Living Water Spanish, via like chat and emails and so on. I was giving her tips and she was giving me tips. And we just helped each other through that.
Oh.
I went in hoping that I would do it. I didn't expect that I would do it, but actually there was a point on the last day where I still had probably 3 hours left. And, you know, my family was keeping me comfortable, so they brought me something to drink. They brought me some nice cold water up to my room.
Great.
So I was drinking the water, and soon enough, I spilled water all over the laptop that I was using. So the laptop had to be powered down, taken downstairs, soaked in rice, you know, to make it sure it dried. So I had to use my sister's computer to finish the competition.
Was that quite a stressful moment for you?
It was, yes. Because Alicia, the student behind me, kept on getting more points and quickly too. First of all, do all the easiest points on the first 3 days, because then you can review them again, get your 3rd stars on day 9 and 10. Also, when it comes to day 6, 7, and 8, where it starts to be really hard to find the lists that you can do and that you know the vocabulary for, is to just keep going, because every point is one more point that the person behind you needs to get to pass you. So because of my time zone, the competition started and the 8 hours resetted at 12 o'clock a.m., so midnight every day. So I woke up at 3 o'clock the first day because I didn't want to get behind too far from the first place lead. And I continued doing that every day, and it slowly became that I was getting a lead over the next person at the beginning of every day, so at midnight. And I was slowly building that lead, so it was 1,000 points, 1,500, 2,000, 2,200, and it kept on doing that. I think on the 8th or 9th day, our internet fails a lot, so it stopped working. So there was no way I could access Language Perfect or anything. So we drove off to a nearby cafe, like coffee shop place, see if we could get internet. Like halfway there, my mom called me saying, "Hey, the internet's working again." So we got to the cafe and it was too noisy to do anything. But then we had to wait for our order for dinner to be finished. So that was about half an hour, but I couldn't do it there because it was too noisy. So finally we got back home and it was still working. So I barely finished my 8 hours that day at like 11:55. During the last couple hours of the competition, it started sort of sinking in that I was gonna win it because Alicia ran out of time, I thought, and she didn't do anything for the rest of the time. So I had a good lead on her, like 1,800 points of lead. So I was pretty sure I had it in the bag. It's a great program. You learn so much through it, and it's always, especially in the competition, it's really competitive. So it really keeps you going and keeps you learning more and more vocabulary to really build up your languages.
Okay, and how long have you been using Language Perfect?
I've been using it for 2 years. I've learned thousands of vocabulary words on Education Perfect. So that has been one of the main contributors to my Spanish. last year I did the World Champions again. That year I got third. I tried to get first, but I just couldn't do it. And then after that, for the science competition, I got first in that. And then just earlier and later that year, I won the Northern Championships, which was the first Northern Championships they did. And earlier this year, I did the Social Sciences competition, and I won that as well. And then finally, as you know, the World Championships, and I won that. The World Championships is a lot harder because there's so many more students participating. Because there's so much more content in that area, there's a lot more points being gotten, and so a lot more competition there. Often my parents, my sister, would bring up food for me for breakfast, so I didn't have to go downstairs and make it myself, and for dinner and even for lunch. Also, another contributor was actually my grandpa. He would send me texts saying, "Oh, you got 67,000 points. Keep going, you're awesome." About every 1,000 points I got. So that was really encouraging and
So he was
helpful
watching
for
your
me.
points?
Yes, he was always looking at the scoreboard, keeping track of how many points Alicia got, how many points she could get in an hour, or in the total allotted 8 hours.
Amazing.
I suppose just keep going. Even when you're tired and really want to go to bed, just keep going.